the document processor or a book writer's dream. And I stumbled upon it after my wife was trying to write a book, and when you're writing a book in Microsoft Word or in Open Office, the formatting, you move one thing and it throws everything off, and you number the pages, and all of a sudden you add a paragraph and it moves everything around, so then you have to renumber the pages, and then you have to go through, and it's just a pain in the ass when you especially get everything centered and right, and then you change things, and then all of a sudden it becomes really hard. It's a document processor based on what you see is what you need. It differs from the traditional word processors like Microsoft Word, WordPerfect, or even OpenOffice or LibreOffice, which uses what you see is what you get. Because they have a formatting of the front end. It's a front end of a typesetting program uses academia known as LaTeX. And it's, typesetters are like when you're doing a book, the typesetter an actual typesetter would take the little blocks out and move them around and do them in the specific format. That's what a typesetter. You can worry more about your content rather than how you format it. Once your writing is written, it produces a published output. You don't have to worry about page numbers, footnotes, table of contents, and cross-referencing. It takes care of all of that. It kind of should. What you won't find in Lex is a document roller, tab stops, extra white spaces, hitting the space, or enter a couple times. You keep on hitting enter, and you expect it to go down like 10 spaces down. It's not going to do that, which is kind of different. Okay, what you won't find in...
When you went like that, it went backward.
Oh, did you see that?
There you go.
Where Lix excels has hyphenation, lists of any types. Mathematics, it does a great job in mathematics. It does tables and cross-referencing really good. And it does a table of contents and things like that, which is awesome. The basics of Lix, so I'm kind of going over this Lix with you now. So this is Lix. The basic commands, like if you start out here, and I think I have another screen, it just comes up with nothing here. So basically you start out with, it's not like a white screen, and everything you type in it. I'll actually pull up something I wrote. Okay, this is something I got from... I'm going to go up to the very beginning. It's lorem ipsum, which is a form, you can look it up on the internet, do a test page and it will bring you to this page. But what you do is you type up everything like this, so everything's typed up. And actually what I did here is, you see my title, I can go up to here and I can say this is my title. The author is me, which is go here, and I change this to author. Oh, I should show you the before. To show you the before picture. Okay, the little eyes there shows you what it looks like. So it just looks like a plain old text kind of thing, which is okay. So then when you do the, change that to title, and then author. And this I'm gonna change to my first chapter is, either you can go with, here you can see there's, unnumbered, numbered is part, is numbered here, and this is unnumbered. So I'm gonna go with unnumbered, and, then, I have a second chapter in there somewhere. There it is. My second chapter. So I go there and I change this, it's my second chapter. See, it formats it, but then the nice thing about it is when you go up to the eyeballs, it does a nice little formatting. It does the, it does all the numbering, page numbering, and it does, like, I put a footnote in there, and you can see it did a footnote. So you can make a really nice looking document. Actually, the best thing to do is I'll show you how to, I'll pull up another thing. If you go to help, and I'm going to pull up the user's manual because it's so big. This is the user's manual, which is like 178 pages. So you can read all about licks on this. And what you can do is click on this, and you see all the things there. It's going to show up as a really nice published page. So it has the Licks team, it has a table of contents with all the paragraphs and everything, or chapters, and subsections, and then you get into the you can add all these things to it, and it looks like this. So it looks like a published book. So once you're done, you can make it look like a beautiful book. This is getting technical, but if you're writing a book, just a novel, it's a great way to write a novel without worrying about the formatting. And, okay, and I'm going to go back to the slides. Oh, you can go to File, New, and then Document Settings, and then pick your class, and I'll show you that. So if I was going to create a new document, I go like there, it starts a new one, and then I go up to Documents. Oh, that really changes everything. Let's see what my menus are. You get into this Licks Documents settings, and you can change it. This is an article, but you can change it to a book. You can go to Doc Books and change it to that. You can do a handout. You can do a Hollywood script. So instead of you type in John, the dialogue. You'd put John, and then you put what he said, and then you Mary what she said, John what he said, and then you go back and change you change the formatting, like I did with the chapters and that, and the format comes out like a Hollywood script. So it's a lot easier once it's done. But then you get a highly polished, publishable document or letter or whatever. There's letters in here she can use. So that's how you change it. You go into this and then change it to book. And then once you do that, you apply it, close this, and then you type up your book. And then that gives you this thing right here, which has all the things for it. So if I change that, instead of a book, I changed it to Broadway, or Hollywood, to the Hollywood script. Apply, close. And you'll see, oh, this changes. So you have a dialogue, more, fade in, whatever, into text.
Interior shot, exterior shot, description of where you are.
Speaker, whatever that is.
Your speaker is off camera but present, and I think the narrator is either is usually narrative.
Oh, it's like somebody talking.
Imagine a world where, and you're like, who's that? And you're like, it's the narrator.
Title over, yeah, it gives a whole bunch of stuff, the scene, but I guess if you're doing Hollywood things, you would know about this, so it's really good that way. So I don't know that much about it, but it gives a lot of, but you start out with a blank sheet and you just type what you want. In case you like. So, we'll go to you. So that's what I just told you about, pick your document class. Everything you need is in that bar. And it tells you, if you hover over it, you will find out what each little item is. Like this one is the view thing, and then there's another view right here too. Footnotes. Help, you can go to the introduction, you can go into the tutorial, help user guide. There's a lot of information there. A lot. I mean, I'm just covering the basics, because I mean, there's a lot to it. I mean, if you want to do math problems, you can do inline math problems, which there's a tutorial that one of the guys on YouTube I watched. It was pretty awesome. The guy kind of, if you're going to do a thesis, he said, this is how you do it.
Another thing about help is that if you're familiar with the Stack Exchange sites like Stack Overflow, Server Fault, etc., there is actually a text community built around the LaTeX system, and one of the tags that you can search for is lists. So you're like, well, I want to make a formula, but I want it to appear at a 35-degree angle, and smoking a cigar. And they're like, okay, well, this is how you do it. I don't think you can actually make it smoke a cigar. You understand?
Okay, things to do. You just write, include everything. It's titles, chapters, and content. And then that's basically it. I mean, my wife, what I did was I copied and pasted her stuff she wrote and put into licks, and then I went and did chapter and that, and it looked really awesome. And how much time she was spending on formatting, I mean, she could have wrote the rest of the book. It's like amazing. The formatting can come later, not while you're in your writing, unless it is needed. And you can be creative, you can keep your creativity flowing without worrying about how it looks. Because she was always worried about how it looks. It has to look good. And I said, don't worry about it, just type. I mean, and then, you can look at your book before you publish it, which is nice, because every part, like I did prior, you can see when you add a chapter, you can look at it, and then you add another chapter and look at it and see what it looks like, you know, and change a lot of things. Oh, here's a site that you can go to. Oh, this is what I use to add all the content. It slips and that counts, just you can say to do 20 pages or 5 pages or whatever. You can type away and format later. And you can format title, author, chapters, footnotes, and others. The resources is licks.org. And use the help and links for introduction, tutorial, and user guide, which I said earlier. Those two YouTube presentations are a guy that's a Nobel Prize winning guy in physics, but he did 2 YouTube clips, and they're extremely good. He basically tells you how to do math problems in if you're doing like an article or to publish in so I think
I mean, that was what it was basically written for, basically. This is the deal Worth made, right?
what's that?
This is the one that Nicholas Worth made initially? Well, latex.
Oh yeah, that's
Because
this
he was writing some books, and he didn't like the way the typesetting was, so he went and spent like 5 years writing a typesetting program.
Oh, that's why he wrote latex? Because
Particularly couldn't do formulas, you know.
yeah, because I mean, we were showing. I mean, I was watching this thing and it's really nice on how you can add formulas if you go to.
It's beautiful. The
But
formula stuff.
he spent a huge amount of time doing complete analysis of what looks good, what how to the little fine points of typesetting, the little. There's a lot of real subtle little things that you
Leslie
don't think of.
Lamport is listed as the original author.
Huh?
Leslie Lamport.
Maybe it's a different, or it's Tex, maybe.
It could be exact.
Maybe it was the predecessor. TEX, I think, was the predecessor then.
John, who did you say what it was?
Nicholas Worth, the guy who,
It was
No.
probably text.
or no, that's not him. No.
I thought it might have been
Knuth.
Donald Knuth is listed
Donald
as
Knuth.
Donald
Yes,
Knuth is
Knuth.
listed as the original developer
The Arts of
text
Computer Science.
in
Yes.
1978, 34 years ago. The last stable release was March of 2008.
Yeah, he had a whole series of books of computer science. I got a couple.
And the guy,
I'm mixing them up.
The YouTube clips, this guy requires it for his physics class, like learning licks and text, because it's makes it look really nice. I mean, you saw that how when I pulled up the user guide, how professional it looked. It's
Well, if you're going to write formulas, I mean, real, honest to goodness, heavy duty math formulas, you either get to write them by hand or else you're going to have to come up with something.
and you can actually take whatever you wrote in another program and cut and paste it, because the user guide, if you do that, I mean, and you scroll down and you see that. Page down. You can see it's like a professional book that's you can find at Barnes and Noble.
Actually, if you look at a lot of the programming books, many of them are text or latex.
Right.
And,
It's not just, it doesn't just look like it often is the type.
but you can easily make you self-publish your own book, which is kind of nice. You can just say like, write it out in just a plain text file and then import it into this to Licks and then just make it look beautiful like this. It's like you're going, wow. I think that's a pretty awesome thing with like the footnotes there. I haven't got to the math. I'm on only page 32. So.
It says it supports DIA drawings, EPS, scaled SVG. So if you do have imagery that needs to get in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, because DIA is cool for diagramming.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, because I've done network topology with DIA before.
Yeah, so well, you saw this picture here that did that, which is kind of cool, so you can add a lot of graphics or pictures or whatever into your, you know. But Lix is a nice front end for it, so that's why I thought I'd do a presentation on it, because I said, you know, this is a really good thing, and I don't have nothing for, December, and I said, well, maybe I'll just do one. Because I've never done one, and I thought you guys might like
That's the
it.
presidential way. You're like, boy, I really need a topic.
And,
And you're like, and it's in an hour. I guess I'm doing a topic.
well, I thought about it two months ago.
Okay.
We had ZoneMinder already put in, and I'm like, well, I can do it afterwards. Because if he did one, I could do one. He did a good job in ZoneMinder. So,
Do you have other questions?
any questions?
Tim, what did you say was it a video or a web
Yes.
page or something where there were, the students were required to use, to learn it
That's,
for physics?
That's these two here. It's either this one or that one.
Okay.
The same guy did it, and he's requiring it for his physics class. And he's won a Nobel Prize.
Really?
I mean, and he's really
You remember
pushing
who
it. He
it
says,
was?
and he showed the difference. He said this is done in latex, and he said it looks really nice. But he said this is done in Lix, and it makes it really easy to do.
I think those URLs are cut off. Can you send those to us? Or is that?
We will definitely send the URLs along with the video and the slides as soon as we are digitally able.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I was gonna say, how, can you, show the footnote, how you did that footnote?
I think you just write footnote.
Oh, okay. Footnotes are really easy.
Yeah, but how do you tell it what the footnote is?
Okay. Let's say I'm typing,
Just put it in the middle of the new. Oh no,
Oh,
that's,
caps
that's
lock.
Hollywood script, isn't it?
oh, is it? No, maybe.
So this is the footnote?
So now that's the footnote, and then, okay, I can go up to, insert citation, insert nomenclature, insert footnote. Okay, so you go there, and then you just say, this is a footnote.
So that, oh, okay, so that
So you just
refers
type
to
it
the
in there.
previous text,
It,
okay.
it puts it in there, so it makes it, and you do the same thing for a
You don't
lot
have
of
to go to
things.
the bottom of the page or anything?
Yeah, it does.
And if you
It
write
fits
another
it for
half
you.
a page and the footnotes ends up on the next page,
Yeah.
it'll magically move over for you, so you don't have this, I did editing and all my footnotes are on the wrong pages and I'm
Right, and then,
really
and,
upset.
and what's,
Okay.
what's nice is that you can also do the, user guide. It has the, I can't read because my screen changed, I can't see.
Should we turn the lights off?
No, it's just the,
Okay.
Was that the bookmarks? Sweet.
well, you can actually see the table of contents on the side. I think, I'm not sure if this is it. But if you see, you can do math, you can say insert formula, do all, there's a whole bunch of stuff. If you're doing in the math, finding your place, there's bookmarks, you can do save the bookmarks. List of tables. See list of branches, okay, you started. So if you go, I just found that out, you can go to there and figure out, go to the next, I can go here and click on Lix Basics. Lix Basics, and I'm there. So that's kind of nice. But, I didn't know that. But it does the table of contents really nice. You just put in your chapters and it does the table of contents, and then you also can do the thing at the end of the book that does all the index, yeah. So,
Glossary.
yeah, you can do that with it too. So it's really, you know, if you can get as technical as you want with it. I just wanted to go over the basics to show you guys how to do it. And if you hover over, it's like the user guide. If you go like I'm right there with the Licks Basics, you can see it's on chapter. But if I go down here, it's on section. And then if I go there, it's a subsection. And then you go here, it's standard. So and then I go maybe over. It says index entry. So and this shows what it does. Index document setting. So it kind of put plain layout. So
Like Mom does.
I don't know if I choose something.
Would you
But
suggest,
that's Licks. Any more questions?
would you suggest using this? Like, I mean, instead of Microsoft Word, or does this cost more than $129.95 like Word costs?
This is free. So,
Okay.
And if you're going to use this with Windows, the guy in those the two videos, I believe that was it. He actually
Has a Windows version?
He has. It's called MyTech that you have to download before you install Licks to pull in all the LaTeX stuff. But yeah, it's free. So basically, you can make a beautiful looking book.
You can run it on Windows, Mac, various versions of Linux, OS 2, and Haiku.
And the thing that got me, and the thing that, if you go back to, I go back to it again and show you, it doesn't, all these things like right here, it doesn't look, it makes it look funny. That's what is different than Microsoft Word, but you can see that it does the formatting because you can see the format types by going up here, chapter and section and subsection. So it's a nice thing about it. So, any more, Tom?
If you just want to be able to put formulas into email messages, into HTML email messages, or blogs or web pages real easily, would this at all help with that?
I think there's one of these.
Unless there's some mechanism in HTML to deal
Yeah.
with that. Otherwise, I
You
think
could-
you're down
you
to
could
making an image.
You could export to PDF and then take a screenshot or an image of it if you really wanted to just paste it into an email.
Yeah.
I think that, because I think getting or seeing it or making it in Licks and then screenshotting it is probably your best way to ensure that it'll get seen on the other side, unless they're okay with PDFs,
You
because
see, this
PDFs are totally, it would, because I think it exports readily to PDF at any
I
time,
would
right?
imagine.
Yeah, so what I did there was, you can do the mapping, like if I was going to put a map.
I'm assuming it's basically wholly round, turn it into PostScript.
Yeah, it does, I think. It can do PDFs, PostScript, and DVI, whatever that is.
Yeah, device, something independent.
Yeah. So it puts out different format. I mean, you could put an ebook, so you can actually put out a actual book out on the web without, and put it on Lula, or is it? Lulu, yeah. Yeah, you can publish your own book and start getting money from it. So
All you gotta do is write the book.
yeah,
So,
but but it's a different way of thinking. But in my way, if you're thinking about a book, I recommend it to anyone. So I guess that's it. Any more questions? Okay. Let's That's it.
Thank you.
Okay.